Detroit Lions. Oh, baby, that is big time stuff. Touchdown, 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 Detroit Lions. Oh, baby, 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 baby,
baby. Yes. What is going on, everybody? I'm going to leave it a minute here to let everybody get in like I normally do. But how you guys doing on this Tuesday? My name is Nick Harkson. I'm here with Touchdown Detroit Lions over on Syndicate Sports Detroit. We are in the off season, but there is still some regular season news to be talked about. So we'll get into that a little bit. Once again, going to let everybody kind of get in here. How's it going? Dustin, what's going on? It's a different Tuesday. It doesn't feel right, that we didn't play this weekend. I feel like we should have been, especially seeing a lot of the competition that did play this weekend. And we'll get a little bit into that as well. But for now, just hop in the comments. Let me know how you're doing. What's up, everybody? Going to give it a few more minutes here. Just a couple more minutes. I'm going to share it over here on Facebook as well. Get my people in here. My name's Nick once again. We are over here on Syndicate Sports Detroit. And, what's up, Mom? Kim Fodderberg, that's my mother. But, it's Tuesday, and it's off-season Lions now. So, here we are. I don't know if you guys watched Monday Night Football last night, but they had our boy, DC Dan Campbell, on there on ESPN2 talking with the Mannings, and I love what Peyton and Eli do over there. They make it a little bit more fun, kind of throw in some funny stuff, and this is one of them right here. This had me cracking up last night, but this is the evolution of Dan Campbell, and I mean, he pointed out, but look at that neck roll right there when he played for the Tigers. He said that's his high school picture right there. It looks like he could have already been in the NFL. The guy he was born to be an NFL player, but that's the evolution of Dan Campbell. But during that segment, they talked about him potentially being the coach of the year. And, Dan, as humble as he is, he kind of put it off to the side and said, the Giants coach Dable, however you want to pronounce it. I don't know how to pronounce it. But the Giants head coach and Doug Peterson from Jacksonville as well. He said they deserved it over him. And, I can't argue with him there. But they did also ask who the dude coach of the year was. And Dan Campbell definitely wins that hands down, if you want to talk about the dude. But he was humble about it, and he kind of said other coaches deserved it. But where I stand, I think that he could definitely still win it, even though he didn't make the playoffs, or we didn't make the playoffs. But with Doug and Dable making the playoffs with their teams, they probably have a lot better chance of winning it. But we did come from 1-6, and the way that our team fought back and the way that Dan, had him crawling out of the dirt, it speaks volumes of this team. And I may be biased, but I kind of think that we have more camaraderie on this team than any other team in the NFL. So when you look at our team compared to other ones, at least at that aspect, the way that they've been coached to come together, Dan's done a great job of that. And that could be a fighting factor for him to become, the coach of the year. But I still think, in my eyes, probably Doug Peterson or Dable. But what do you guys think? You think Dan Campbell has earned, to become the coach of the year this year? Do you think he's earned that spot? I think he's done a great job. I think he's definitely right behind those guys, if he's not right up there with them. But pretty much all I got to say about that. But since we're talking about a coach of the year, we might as well get into somebody who has a very high chance of winning Defensive Rookie of the Year, and that is Aiden Hutchinson. Hutch, he's an absolute beast. I got to shout out Hutch real quick, you know what I mean? But the guy, he's been tearing it up all year. He's actually won Defensive Rookie of the Year, or not Rookie of the Year. Hopefully he wins Defensive Rookie of the Year, but he's won Rookie of the Month twice, and, that's saying a lot about him already. I know Houston's won it once this year as well, but Hutch is actually up for Rookie of the Year altogether, the Pepsi Rookie of the Year, and you can go over and vote for that. You can find it on the Lions Twitter, but you can vote an unlimited amount of times. So if you love Hutch and you want to see him get the Rookie of the Year, the Pepsi Rookie of the Year that is, then go over there, find it on the Lions Twitter. They probably post it on their Facebook and stuff too. But yeah, you can vote for Hutch to get that, and I think that'd be pretty cool. I know that they already hand out like the championship belts for each week, so I'd be interested to see what they did for the entire year. But yeah, man, I think that Hutch has a real good shot at winning Defensive Rookie of the Year, though, which is, given out by the NFL. And the only person that I think would give him a run for his money is Sauce Gardner, of course. But Hutch has more picks than him. He has 3 interceptions, and Sauce has 2. But Hutch has 9.5 sacks and 2 fumble recoveries as well. So, he's got a real fighting case there for the Defensive Rookie of the Year. He kind of had a slow start besides that Commanders game, but once he found his groove, he's really been a force to reckon with, and I think that, any team would be lucky to have him. I think we definitely got the right pick there at number 2. I'm glad he dropped to us at number 2 because he did way better than, Kayvon Thibodeau was after him, but Walker, the guy from who's on Jacksonville now, but Hutch has proven that he's done better than both those guys this year, and we'll see how that pans out in the future. Both those guys are in the playoffs right now, and we're not. But yeah, I think that we won that draft pick right there. If you put those 3 up, Hutch, I think, had an overall better year, and I think James Houston, it was a steal too. I mean, he's doing better than those guys as well. So once again, I got to shout out Brad Holmes for an excellent draft class. We're going to move on, though, to some more in-season news before we get to the off-season. But I'm going to look over here. What up, Patty Grimes? Yes, Dan was great on the Manning podcast or broadcast. Yes, I agree. That crazy dude, 12. That's the only reason why. I mean, I watched because it was the playoffs, of course. But my main reason why I watched ESPN2 in particular for the Manning cast is for Dan Campbell. And I need to start watching more of the Peyton Manning cast on ESPN2 when they're doing it. I didn't watch enough this year. I think I watched one prior to this. But I like it a lot better, especially if it's not a team that you really care about. If the Lions were on Monday Night Football, I wouldn't listen to it because they're kind of distracting with their, how goofy they are. But, I do love it. And I have to bring up one more thing. They were talking about when Peyton Manning and the guy from Dumber and Dumber, I can't think of his name right now. He's from Detroit. I can't think of his name. Smack me. But they went there and they tried to reverse the curse. And it's been working. And Dan Campbell says he doesn't believe in the Bobby Lane curse or any of that stuff. But he said that he did acknowledge that they have been winning since they tried to do that. And Peyton was stoked about that, which I thought was another hilarious moment. But yeah, let's get into some more real deal Lions news here. And this was from the season, and it's not good news, really. Jamal Williams fined once again, and fined more than the Packers linebacker who pushed our trainer, but he was fined for hip thrusting once again, and I don't think he should be. He only did 2 pumps. He didn't hit that third. They didn't even throw a flag. Why'd he get fined? I don't get it. He's just out there having fun. NFL, a lot of people say, stands for No Fun League, because they fine people for things like this. And I've seen other people do it. I mean, they have the Jacksonville Jaguars mascot out there pretty much naked during some of the games, and he's hip thrusting. They don't catch a fine for that. So what's up with that, NFL? Stop fining my boys. Jamal's just out there having fun. He didn't do anything wrong. If you're just too soft and your eyes are too sensitive to see a guy hip thrusting and having fun, then maybe you shouldn't be running the league. But, yeah, not only did they screw over Jamal in that kind of way, but there's been some talks that we got screwed over when we weren't even playing a game. The refs are under a lot of fire right now for that the Seattle game, the Seattle Rams game. They said that it was the worst officiated game all season. And of course it hurt us big time. But I will say this, we should have taken care of business. But here, I'm going to put this up real quick. This is from Adam Schefter, and he says, after multiple controversial officiating decisions in last Sunday's playoff shaping game between the Los Angeles Rams and the Seattle Seahawks, multiple executives and coaches believe the NFL needs to reevaluate how it chooses and trains its officiating staff for the future seasons. I completely agree. I think they're too old. They're the same crews that have been there for years and years and years. And when they bring in a new guy, he's like 70 plus. The game it keeps speeding up. They can't get guys whose eyes are slowing down to come in and officiate these games. They need to get younger guys and maybe train them better if they don't trust a young guy or whatever. But, also they need to get these biased refs out of here too. I heard that there was a few refs from Seattle officiating the Seattle game. You can't have that. You got to get refs who have nothing tied to the team. So don't have them live in the same city as the team they're officiating for that day. And also, I don't know, maybe they need to have another official up in the booth the whole game and review every single call, or at least controversial ones, and say, hey, stop the game real quick. That's not what it was. I don't know what they need to do, but they need to fix it real fast. Maybe take a little advice from the NBA. They're holding individual refs accountable and fining them when they make bad calls, and they're allowed to challenge pretty much every single foul or anything. But I don't think we should challenge everything. It's going to make the game last so much longer. But they need to do something. Hold these refs accountable. Fine them. They're cheating. I don't know. We're always getting screwed over by the refs. But this is one thing I do want to touch on as well. We had our opportunity. All we had to do was win one more game, and we would have been in the playoffs, and we were unable to do that. So, it's blame it on the refs all you want, but it's pretty much our own fault. And I think next year, Dan Campbell touched on this too last night on the Manning broadcast. He said, it kind of motivates you, and it lights a fire under you because you want to be there next year. You don't even want to leave it up for debate. You want to win the division. You want to go in there, and not leave it up to the refs. You don't want to leave it up to that last game. And unfortunately, it happened this year and did not turn out in our favor. So we're gonna move on from that. But one more thing, I do have to shout out my grandfather Pops for this one. Maybe we should go to robotic refs, because I did see that AAA baseball is now doing robot umps behind the plate. And I don't think that could work in the NFL, but shout out to Pops for giving me that information. I think that's crazy that they're going there, but it's kind of cool too. But all right, let's get into it. It's time for the off season, and we're gonna talk about some free agency talk. Here are our unrestricted free agents, and I talked about it last week. I got into my top 5, and I'll say this: I put out my little segment about that last week. I don't know if you saw it. If you didn't, it's up on the Syndicate Sports Detroit page, and I have a playlist over there for Touchdown Detroit Lions. You can find it. But and if you're not, go ahead and subscribe to the page. But anyways, I gave my top 5, and then I see today, Pride of Detroit puts out their top list of free agents. And Pride of Detroit, if you're watching, I doubt you are, but shout out. I look at you guys' stuff all the time. But they made their top list too, and it happened to be exactly the same as mine. So let's go over that one more time, because a lot of people were hating on me for some of the people that I chose. But I still think this is who we should get. So out of these guys on the unrestricted free agents, I'll list my top 5, and then I'll talk about a few more. But I said Jamal Williams, DJ Chark, John Kaminsky, Isaiah Buggs, and Alex Anzalone. I think we got to bring those guys back. I heard there is some speculation that maybe Alex Anzalone might retire. After the last game, he kind of said he needed to be there for his family and whatnot. So, who knows? He might be done, but I hope that he comes back one more year. That's just how I feel. And then I also feel like we need to bring Evan Brown back. He was a good guard, and if he can stay healthy, he really helps out a lot on the line. But we do need some depth there still, so, he helps. And then, of course, I think Deshaun Elliott needs to come back. I know Tracy Walker will be back next year, but you need depth. And I think, Deshaun Elliott started a little slow with us, but he came around big time, and then he got hurt, but then he came back and he was good again. And I think him and Kirby Joseph have a lot of chemistry. Now, you saw when Deshaun Elliott went away, Kirby was kind of struggling. And when he came back, he played that Packers game, Kirby Joseph shined. So I think, Kirby and Deshaun Elliott got something going on there as far as chemistry goes. But I think, Tracy Walker coming back is huge. He's going to help out in a big, big way. You always need depth, too. I think Tracy Walker is definitely going to be the starter. But who knows? But yeah, Deshaun Elliott definitely can play a huge role on this team still next year. And if he comes back for the right price, which I think that he could, because I don't think he did anything outstanding to get a big contract anywhere else, then, I think we definitely should lock him back up. But who do you guys think out of this list right here, the unrestricted free agents, who are your top guys that we should bring back? I gave you mine. I want to see what you guys say in the comments. Go ahead and sound off. I'll get back to the comments later, because right now we're going to get into our restricted free agents, and there they are right there. And if you don't know what a restricted free agent is, it's a player with 3 acquired seasons and an expired contract. It's all right there. They're free to negotiate and sign with any team, but their original team can offer them one of various qualifying offers, tenders, that come with the right first refusal and / or draft pick compensation. Okay, so that's what an unrestricted free agent is. For those who didn't know, that was a more in-depth kind of description there. I went straight to Webster for that one. But yeah, so brought the restricted free agents back up. But yeah, and we also have some exclusive free agents, and that's what those are, exclusive rights free agents. And I think we're going to bring back a few of these guys as well. Basically, we have first rights to these guys, and I think Shane Zylstra did great. Brock Wright, Craig Reynolds, I could potentially see him coming back. He's more of a practice squad guy. He was going to play a bigger role, I feel like, but then he got hurt. And then Justin Jackson came in and took over. But yeah, that's what's going on with our free agents that are on our team. But let's talk about some guys who are not on our team that I see a lot of people talking about. It's always tough to say, and I think I want to see this. I want to say this first. We are not going to go out and spend a lot of money. I just see us like 10 million tops a year on somebody. We're not a big free agent money spending team unless Brad Holmes wants to go out there and shock the world this year and switch it up and say, you know what, this year I'm going out and spending some money. And we don't have a ton to start with. I'll show you what we got. According to, I think it was Sports Track, we have $18 million in cap space right now. Yeah, Spot Track. We have $18 million in cap space, but we can free up some space to get some guys. And let's talk about that. Look at our cap hits here. These are just the top 10 cap hits right here. And I see a few guys we can definitely let go already. And that's Romeo Okoro. I'm sorry, bud. Out of all of them, I'm going to give you 3 right now that I think definitely just need to go next year. Romeo Okoro, Michael Brockers, and Vaitai. I'm not even going to attempt to butcher his first name. I could try, but it's not going to be good. Those 3, and they're all right in a row there, all can get cut, and we can save some money. When healthy, all 3 of them can be really good. But they haven't been healthy the last 2 years. They've basically been riding the bench and just eating up cap space, and we cannot have that anymore. Out of all 3 of them, like I said, I would want to keep Romeo Okoro the most. I like him the most. I think that he's been the most productive. But I don't think we need him anymore. The youth is coming up, and we can get somebody in the draft to fill his spot. And, it's just proven. He's been on the bench. We've been doing fine without him. I know he could have helped early on big time. He could have helped later on too, but he just wasn't there. I know he did come out. He played a couple games, but sorry, Romeo. I think that you got to go. And then Michael Brockers. The guy's just been a ghost ever since he's been here. I was super excited for him to come to the team. I thought he was going to make a big difference, and he hasn't. You can keep him for a coach next year if you want, if he's a great locker room guy like they say, but don't pay him, and especially not all that money just to sit on the sideline. Get him a new contract to be a coach for way less money and move on from him. And then Vaitai, he was supposed to be our starting guard this year, and I think that he does have promise, but we paid him way too much money, and he's a Fatty P guy, and if you don't know who Fatty P is, that's Matt Patricia. And I cannot believe, that we paid him as much as we did when we got him. So I've never really been a fan of having Vaitai on the team. I thought he could have helped out, but he's been on the sideline hurt pretty much his whole time he's been with us, so get out of here as well. One more guy that I will say on this list that I heard a few people ask about was Jeff Okudah. I don't know how much we can say, we could cut him, but I don't know how much we get back with him. But they were talking about his 5th-year option, and Brad Holmes was kind of just like, we'll see. We'll see. He was pretty much saying, Okudah knows what he needs to work on in the offseason, and he knows what he did well. But Brad Holmes pretty much kind of said, it doesn't look like we're going to pick up his 5th-year option. I thought Okudah did great. Not great, but he came back a lot better than he has been the last few years, and I think there's some promise there. So I think that we should keep Okudah because we definitely need depth at the D-back position. So I don't see getting rid of him, but I don't see us picking up his 5th-year option either. With that being said, I did say I was going to name a few free agents from other teams that people are talking about, and I see us addressing defense, mainly defense through free agency if we're going there, but we're also going to address defense in the draft as well. But I see a lot of people talking about Deron Payne. He was on the Commanders, and he's great. He's a good player. I think he does fit the mold of this team. I think he's a nasty player. I think Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes would love to have him, but I also think that he might be just a little bit out of our price range. I think he would go for more of a 14 mil type deal, and I don't see us doing that. I just don't. I hope I'm wrong. Well, I don't know. I like what we're doing already. I think we're doing a great job of going out, finding the guys who fit our mold, and then they go out and play hard for us. We don't necessarily need to go out and get the big splash free agent. Last year, our biggest one was DJ Chark, and he didn't have that great of a season in Jacksonville before that. As a matter of fact, he had a terrible one. He was hurt most of the time, but I mean, that was our biggest free agent signing, which you could consider a big one, but it wasn't compared to a lot of other ones. So I kind of like what we do. I also saw that, a lot of people want us to go out and get Devin Bush. That's a guy that we could afford. And he's a Michigan guy, so I know a lot of the fans would be happy about that. And we could definitely use help at linebacker as well, but at the same time, I feel like if we're going to go get Bush, we might as well just keep Anzalone around, and because I think we'll get Anzalone on a cheaper deal, and he'll want to be here. He already knows the system. There's no need to teach a guy our ways already. And if we want to address the linebacker, just do it through the draft. You don't need to go and pay Devin Bush. It probably wouldn't be that much, but I say you pass on that one. And then I also saw Tremaine Edmonds, who would be an amazing pickup, but I think he's way out of our price range as well. But I'm going to go ahead and look into these comments. I haven't looked into them yet today, and I'm going to see what's going on. Here we go. Haters House. Sorry, Hatter's House. I always say Haters House. I'm sorry, brother. I say it every single time, Hatters. Brockers is the first one out. I definitely agree. Big V is gone unless he takes a pay cut. That would be the only way I would want to keep him because he is valuable. He could be valuable to the line if he's healthy. That's the big key. There's a lot of guys on our team that could help us out a lot, but health is always the issue. But yeah, Big V, you got to take a pay cut if you want to stay with us. Yeah, Romeo is the biggest one I'll keep from those three. Yep, that just like I said, I don't want to see him go. I love the brother connection there in Detroit, and I think that he's done enough good for us in the past. I don't know. The past is the past, so he has to perform right now. But if we were going to keep any out of those three, he would be the one that I would want for sure. Yeah, Brocker and Vaitai can be released. Harris is gone too. Okay, that is a topic right there. So, Will Harris had a better year this year. And according to PFF, he was our best corner. You can watch the games and you can see for yourself who you think the best corner is. Jerry Jacobs, to me, when he came back, made a huge difference. But Harris didn't do bad this year. The last few years, I was ripping my hair out because of Will Harris at safety. I could not believe how bad he was. I think he made a major improvement this year at the corner position, but I could definitely see us moving on from him for sure. Here we go, Dustin. I think Payne is going to have a lot of suitors this offseason. Me too. But I think we're going to be a team that a lot of players are going to want to go to. They see the culture. They see how much our players love to play for Dan Campbell. It seems like a great place to come to, and that's kind of the word around the league. But we'll see how it plays out this year. We'll see if that's true. A lot of our guys love it, and they're probably going out and they're recruiting it. But we'll see how true it is when it's time for free agency, because money's going to talk, and they're going to go wherever the money's talking. They're not going to be like, oh, I want to go play for the Lions because it looks like it's fun to play for Dan Campbell. And then another team's like, here's an extra $7 million. Okay, yeah, they're going to go do that for sure. I see Josh Jacobs in there. I wouldn't mind getting JJ. I like Josh Jacobs, but that means we're probably moving on from one of our other running backs, which would be Jamal Williams or DeAndre Swift, unless you want to go with a three-headed monster. And that would be absolutely crazy. You could hand the ball off to any one of them, and it's going to be a good idea. I think we're re-signing Jamal. If we don't, Josh Jacobs would be amazing. I'll touch on Swift here in a little bit. I got a little segment I want to talk about Swift. We'll get into that talk, but Josh Jacobs would be cool. Let's see. Any thoughts on Jalen Ramsey? I saw that going around as well. I would not mind having him on the team. He's a great player. He's kind of a diva, so that would be the only thing. But I think that he's kind of a hard-nosed player, though, too. Like, he's not a diva in a bad way. He goes out there and hits, and he gets picks. He's a good player, and most of the time he backs up his mouth. Now, that's the only thing, is that he runs his mouth. So does he fit the mold? I don't know. I think that he will go out there and grind, and he loves football. You can see that. So I think he would be a great addition to this team. Now, what we would have to give up for him is another question. I don't want to give up the house for Jalen Ramsey, and I would be happy with him there, but it's got to be for the right deal, and I don't see us going out and getting him. I would not be upset about it at all. I think it would be a great addition to this defense. But, Kirby Joseph, he's looking great. Tracy Walker's coming back next year. And if we get Deshaun Elliott, maybe we're okay there. Maybe we draft another safety. Who knows? But Jalen Ramsey would not be a bad addition. It's just got to be for the right cost. And I think that he'd probably be too much. All right, let's see what else we got going on. Here we go. Keep Jeff one more year. I agree, Patty Grimes. We need help at DB. I see us going to help in the draft for DB, and we can get there. Let's just go. I'm just going to talk about more stuff that I had to talk about, and that is the draft. We are officially at 6-18 in the first round, but now that the Vikings are out and they have lost, we get 6, 18, 48, and 55 for our first 4 picks, and that's 4 picks in the top 60. That's sitting pretty nice, especially with the way that Brad Holmes has been drafting. And I know you see right there that it says that only 31 picks are in the first round. That is true because the Dolphins had to forfeit their first round pick because of tampering. So there's only 31 picks in the first round. That's why we got the 55th. But, we're looking pretty good right there, and this is the overall draft. I think we're sitting good at 6, no matter what. I see it this way. I see teams behind us that need a quarterback, and all the quarterbacks are going to go before us or right at us is going to be the last one. Maybe. But I think they're going to be worried. We're either going to have teams trade up in front of us, and we're going to get guys dropping back to us like the Clemson D tackle or the Georgia D lineman. And I think either one of them would be a great pick at 6 if they did drop to us. I don't know if they will. I also saw in the mock recently that we are getting the Clemson guy at 6, and then we're getting Gonzalez, the cornerback from Oregon, at 18. But at 6 still, with those teams who need a quarterback behind us, I'm talking about right here, the Raiders, Carolina, Tennessee, they could potentially trade with us as well, and I would not mind trading back with any one of those 3 teams. I don't want to go out of the top 10, but I wouldn't mind going to 11 with Tennessee. Derek Carr seems like he's pretty much done in Oakland unless they're going to run with the guy they got now. They're going to need a quarterback, and, Brad Holmes, who knows what he's going to do. Maybe we are going to draft a quarterback. I hope that we don't. I don't think we need to this year. Some guys still think that we should. But, I think Brad Holmes needs to keep going out there, finessing the league, being like, yeah, we're interested in this guy. We really like this guy. We need to get our quarterback of the future. Just go out there and keep doing that, whether you're serious or not. So then we can potentially trade back with one of these teams. If our guy that we don't like isn't there, you might as well acquire more picks. This year, I just don't know who I would want besides defense. But, yeah, just keep going out there and finessing the league, Brad Holmes. What do you guys think we need to address in the draft? I think it's got to be defense with the first 4 picks. I wouldn't mind going one offensive pick with the first 4. I could see us maybe getting a tight end or another lineman, but I don't think we need to. We don't need a wide receiver. Obviously, we're stacked there. I don't want to draft a quarterback with the first 4 picks. If we do, I don't care. As long as Brad Holmes, as long as it's the guy that he loves and he's the guy of the future and he's got trust in him. But, I say we go defense the first 4 picks. I'm going to hop in here. Lions trade with Tennessee for 6th pick, and they draft QB. We get number 11 and 2nd or 3rd round pick, first round pick next year. I like that. Just try to get as many draft picks as you possibly can. I would want definitely we have to get a first round pick, but Brad Holmes has done great with every pick, not every pick, but all the late round picks too. I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Rodrigo, Houston. I mean, Kirby Joseph's a 3rd rounder. I mean, we're doing good in the draft, so I don't think draft picks to me are now much more valuable than they were when Bob Quinn was there. I was like, man, we're only getting a 3rd for this guy. Now I'm like, oh, we're getting a 3rd. Okay, I trust that. All right. But, let me look in here. John Pierce, Seahawks beat us. Yes, they did. Dustin Dice, all defense or maybe a guard. Yes, I wouldn't mind a guard at all. First 4 picks defense, we need a guard. So where do you see us taking a guard, though? What pick do we take a guard at? And who said that? First 4 picks. Oh, that was Jerome. No, I still say we go defense. We got to re-sign Evan Brown. And if Vaitai, I said we got to cut him. But if he takes a pay cut, that's another guy there. Jonah Jackson's playing his butt off. Another guy that I didn't touch on today that I think maybe deserves another year, who stepped up in a big way when we needed him, who can play that guard position, is Dan Skipper. I know he's not, a lot of people might laugh at me for that, but Dan Skipper played his butt off this year, and I think that he's not a high-priced guy. We're going to get him for a very low amount of money, and he can come in and help us. He did great in a few games, and he's a gamer. He goes out there, and he puts his head down, and he'll do what he can for you. He has had some bad penalties and whatnot this year. He's not going to be a starter, but he's definitely a depth guy, and that's just where I stand on Dan Skipper. We could definitely draft a guard. I would not be mad at drafting a guard with our first 4 picks, but I still feel the defense is much more of a priority than our offense is right now. The only reason why I'll take a wide receiver in this draft, this is from MSU Detroit fan. The only reason why I'll take a wide receiver in this draft is if DJ Shark doesn't come back, but make it a later round guy like St. Brown was. Okay, I could see that. We do have JMO. I think they're going to develop him a lot more. But you're right, maybe go and get a receiver later on. We still got some guys back there, though. I mean, Khalif Raymond is going to be there for us. And Quintez Cephas. We haven't talked about him, but, maybe he comes back from the injury next year and has a better year. He's not a bad receiver. He was actually doing all right before he got hurt. So maybe Quintez Cephas comes back and does something for us next year. If Shark leaves, that is. Perry Ball, second and third for O-line. Okay. You talk about second and third round. I would go with that as well. Just one, though. We got to get some defensive help. Let's see. Guard, 49 or 56. Yeah, I like it. As long as it's back there, I'm okay with that. The first 2 picks, defense for sure. And John Peterson, I see it best available. I'm with that. I don't know if there's going to be a guy at 6 that we love. And that's why I'm saying maybe trade back a few picks and acquire a few more. And then you can go offense if you get another first-round pick or another, second or third. Then we got plenty of more picks to work with. And it's not as much as, okay, I need to get these needs right now because I don't have a lot of other picks during these rounds. So, I would love this year to trade back. That's where I sit. That's where I want us to do. I would rather trade back just a few picks or one pick, acquire more. Go ahead, get your defensive guys, and get an offensive guy or 2 in there if you want them. That's just where I say. Dude, you need to pick the BPA with our picks. Okay, guard is priority. Need O-line depth, bullets to keep the show rolling. Yeah, guard. Look it. I'm getting some heat back right now. I do feel like we need a guard. I feel like we're gonna get Evan Brown back. I know it's not the best. We do need one more guard. I still don't. You can't get it. To me, it's not a first round pick. Not even the first pick with the second round pick. I'll take it the second. I'll take it with one of the later picks, but not one of the first 3 picks. That 4th pick, guard all day is cool with me. That's just how I feel. This is my opinion. I'm not the expert over here. I'm not going to be in that draft room being like, hey, Brad Holmes, don't do it. I wouldn't do it. So, I mean, that's just my opinion. And you guys have yours too. I love to chat it up with you guys. We're picking Andrew Voorhees. Okay. Hey, not bad. Love Voorhees' last name. I look at these comments are so small to me too, guys. I am sorry. But let's get into some other news. I'm just rambling on. Let's talk about our offensive coordinator who potentially might not be our offensive coordinator very soon. I'm talking about Ben Johnson. He is currently the favorite to land the Carolina Panthers job. He's from North Carolina. He went to North Carolina. He went to college there. He went to high school there. And yeah, Vegas DraftKings has him as the front runner to land the job. DraftKings also, as of today, earlier today, had him as the front runner to land the Indianapolis Colts job. But I did just see that the Colts are requesting to interview Quinn from the Cowboys. So, maybe that interview didn't go so well with Ben Johnson. But with all this being said, I think that Ben is more than likely out the door. A lot of people think it's kind of crazy, that he might just go after his first year as an offensive coordinator. And he was only on a 9-8 team that didn't make the playoffs. But this has happened plenty of times in the past with coaches around the league. Trying to think of some examples right now. But, when it's hot and you're a hot commodity around the league, you have to take your shot. And if he wants to be a head coach, then, if he gets an offer, he's going. That's just the way I see it, because next year, maybe he's not as good of an offensive coordinator if he misses out on a job or if he turns the job down, and then he doesn't get that opportunity to be a head coach again. So I think if he does get an offer, he's gone. Unfortunately, so we're going to have to look for a new offensive coordinator. And there are currently 6 other teams right now that are also looking for an offensive coordinator. So we're going to have our work cut out for us here. There's a few other Lions old coaches that are out there interviewing right now. Jim Caldwell, one of them, who's looking for an offensive coordinating job or a head coaching job. So maybe we bring back old Jim Caldwell into the building, which I highly doubt. But he could be a replacement at offensive coordinator. I really highly doubt we do that. I saw Jim Schwartz got a job. He's the defensive coordinator for the Browns, supposedly now. And our old offensive coordinator, who was, to me, one of the worst offensive coordinators in history of the Detroit Lions, Joe Lombardi, got fired by the Chargers. Probably should have never even had that job. But yeah, Chargers are looking for a new OC as well. So, we're going to have a little competition. I hope that the Lions have somebody in mind. They probably have somebody in the building, is what I'm guessing, that they're going to have take the job. Maybe Dan Campbell just takes over. I doubt he's going to be the offensive coordinator, but maybe he calls the plays next year. Like he said, when we had Lynn there as offensive coordinator, he said the offensive coordinator does a lot more than just call the plays. So they do need somebody there for practice. But I could see DC taking over play calls maybe next year. Who knows? But yeah, let's get on to another topic. I want to talk about my boy DeAndre Swift. He said he can't wait for week 1 after shoulder and ankle injuries in 2022. He is looking a lot better there at the end of the season. He looked fully healthy. He looked like he was at the beginning of the season, breaking tackles, breaking off 20, 30-yard runs, getting in the end zone. He really seemed like he was in the zone again at the end of the season. But Swift's major problem, as we all know, is injury. Now, I saw earlier people wanted Josh Jacobs on the team. Maybe that's because they want Swift gone. Well, a lot of people want us to trade Swift. This is where I stand. I don't think we should trade Swift. I think he should stay another year, play out his rookie contract, because what are we going to get for Swift? What do you guys think we would get for Swift? We're not getting a first rounder. We're not getting a second rounder. And I don't know if we'd even get a third rounder for Swift. He's been hurt, and the rest of the league recognizes that too. It's not just us who, sees his potential and we're like, yeah, he's a great player. You're going to love him. He's going to do good for you. So here, give us a first round pick. That's not how it works. We can't just go out there demanding whatever pick we want. And I think a lot of fans forget that we're not going to get a lot back for Swift. So there's no point to me in trading and getting rid of him. I think when he's healthy, he's one of the better backs in the league. And I think next year is a kind of a prove it year for him. So it would benefit us to have him on the field trying to prove that he can stay healthy and, maybe prove that he wants to stay with the Lions or to get a better deal with another team. I think it only helps us, for the whole season to keep a guy like that who's trying to prove that he can stay healthy and trying to get a big contract. It can't hurt. So I don't even want to hear it. I don't think that we can get very good picks or hardly anything at all for Swift. Not what people are going to want. They're going to see that trade and they're going to be like, what the heck? Why did we trade him? I wouldn't have traded him if I would have known we would have got that. That's going to happen if we trade Swift. That's what I'm saying. I don't think we should do it. Just forget about it. That's what I say. But let me look in these comments here. Let me see what you guys have to think. I appreciate all the comments today as well. You guys are keeping me busy, and I love it. Let's see. Bo Booth, OC if needed, promote from in the house. That's what I say too. That's what we did with Ben Johnson. I didn't know anything about him last year. I was kind of shocked when we promoted him from tight end coach to the offensive coordinator, but it worked out great. So I think we're going to be fine. If he moves on, good coaches find other good coaches and they make them great coaches. We're going to be okay. Dan Campbell's a good coach. I think he's good at eyeing talent, or whoever does the hiring, Brad Holmes. But DC brings his guys in. I think we're going to be okay, guys. No need to panic if Ben Johnson goes out the door. I don't want him to, but I think we're going to be okay. All right. If Johnson leaves, he got part of the game. Let me see. I think the team take a chance on Ben, are taking a risk. Ben might fall bad as a head coach. And that is the risk that he's going to have to take, though. And you never know until you try it, though. And that's why I do think if he does get an offer, he's still going to take it no matter what, because he might not get that offer again. He could bet on himself, though, and be like, you know what, I am an offensive guru, and I'm going to go out there and do even better next year with this offense. And he could get every team lining up that needs a coach the following year, wanting him to be their head coach. But I just think in this league, it's so cutthroat that if you miss out on your opportunity, you might not ever get it again. That's why I think he's gone if he gets an offer. I don't want him to go, like I said, but it's just how the league is. John Peterson, 5th or 6th round for Swift. Get out of here. There ain't no way. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't take it. I personally wouldn't do that. Some people would. I mean, I guess, look, you got Rodrigo and you got James Houston, the 5th and 6th last year. So if you could give me 2 of those players guaranteed in the 5th and 6th round, then maybe, but there's no guarantee. And Swift is already good when he's on the field. That is the problem. But I think next year, this is another deal. And I think this year they tried to make him, at the beginning, he was going to be our main guy. I know that Jamal was out there a lot too, but they were trying to make Swift the main dude. Give him the ball, 18 to 25 times on the ground a game, plus pass it to him. And we found out that he can't be that guy. So I'm seeing right here, I think I see running back by committee. Yeah, that would be the best. Just put him in there, third down back, or, in different situations. Just work him and Jamal if we do re-sign Jamal, that is. Work those 2 together. Just like we did at the end of the season. It doesn't need to be one main guy. Use your whole team. We got 2 good backs. And I think that'll work out a lot more in Swift's favor, staying healthy if he's not the main 3-down running back like we hoped he would be. Unfortunately, we are where we are with that. But if we re-sign Jamal, we got a 2-headed monster that works out great. And just let Swift finish out his rookie deal before you get rid of him, if you're going to get rid of him at all. But let's see here. Yeah, running back by committee. Swift may hit his training hard again and come back better. I do agree. That's what I'm saying. He's got to prove himself this year. So he's going to go out there in the offseason. He's going to work his butt off. He's known for that. And he's going to come back, and hopefully he is better. I just think it's dumb to get rid of Swift. That's just where I feel. I know a lot of people disagree with me, especially in the Lions community, but that's how I feel. I see a let Swift cook. Yes, sir. Let's do that, Same with Lovie Smith and Dennis Allen. I'm not sure what that is referring to. I'm sorry. I'm getting lost in these comments right here, but yeah, I appreciate you guys chatting with me a bunch today. This has been a fun episode for me. I was kind of concerned with what's going to happen with no more Lions football. It's kind of got me frustrated this week, especially watching the freaking Minnesota Vikings, Seattle Seahawks. I mean, there was so many teams that just should not have been playing this weekend. Tampa Bay, we could have given all of these teams way better run for their money. I'm not saying we would have won, and I'm not guaranteeing it would have been a closer score, but I'm willing to bet that it would have been a way better game if we would have been there. But yeah, if you guys got some questions for me, go ahead and ask me in the comments here. I got a few more things to talk about, but then I'm going to get out of here for the day. Moving forward here, we got a long off season, and I want to get back into free agency just a little bit. I think this team is going to acquire a lot of our guys that we already have. I think we're already moving in the right direction. We're definitely going to cut some people for sure. But I think a lot of people are going to be shocked with how many people we do bring back and how little we spend in free agency, even though we're going to have money. Hopefully we do make a splash this year, but I don't think we're going to go out and spend a big time contract is what I mean. And I hope that we restructure Goff once again. He's got a huge contract. He had a great year this year, but I think we could restructure him, get a little bit more cap space as well. Here we go. First time I've watched you, and I'm happy with your performance. Thank you, Bo. Come back, Bo. I'll be here every single Tuesday. Today I was kind of rambling a lot, but I got a lot to talk about here. I'll answer any of your guys' questions as well. But every Tuesday at 5 Detroit time, 4 Central, 2 p.m. West Coast, I will be here. This is Touchdown Detroit Lions on Syndicate Sports Detroit. And you can also follow me. It's there today. I put it up on Twitter at nharkson24. If you want to keep up with some of my little rants over there, whatever I post on Twitter. I also do some WWE content. I work for them as well. But I'm mainly Detroit Lions. That's what I do, baby. But here we go. We got a question. Do you think Brad Holmes at a wide receiver or running back with 6 or 18, if the TCU wide receiver or Robinson running back are on the board? Perry, I honestly don't think we'll go any offense with our first 2 picks. I don't think either of those guys are bad players. I think they're phenomenal, and they're going to be great in the NFL. They had great years this year in college, but I just don't see us going offense. The offense is pretty much set. If we can get Jamal back, then we're good there. You keep Swift. We could draft a running back, but I just don't see it at 6 or 18. The wide receiver room, though, man, we got Jamison Williams, who should have a much better year next year. Amon-Ra St. Brown, beast. Craig Reynolds, not bad. We got to get, if we get Shark back, then we're set. But I still don't see us drafting a wide receiver or a running back at 6 or 18. Maybe later round, like we were talking, and hit on a guy like St. Brown. I could see us doing that, but not with the first 2 picks. Yeah, Lions could beat some of those playoff teams, definitely. Lions went 5-1. Vikings went 4-2. I know, unfortunately, when it comes down to the NFL with your divisions, it's not about your division record unless you have a tie with a division opponent for the division championship. Now, we did have the best record out of, between the division opponents. We were 5-1. Everybody else was below us in that matter. But unfortunately, it's not like college where we can't win the division with just that record. Otherwise, yeah, we'd be NFC North. But we do own the North. That's what that means. And Sheila said it best. From now on, all roads go through Detroit. And I agree. Next year, I'm super excited. Now, everything changes from year to year. But I do feel like we got the right people in the building as far as coaching. And, Brad Holmes, I think Sheila is so far has been a great owner, much better than all the other forwards that have had their hands on the Detroit Lions. I think, maybe she's kind of reversing that narrative of sell the team because she really does care about this team, and you can tell. And Dan Campbell even said that. He said that she cares more about the players than anybody, and she knows everything about them, which I think is awesome because there's a lot of owners in this league who don't give a crap. They just want to make money, and they don't know who their starting quarterback is. They're just senile. They're up there, yeah, but Sheila actually cares. But here we go. Okay, this is a non-Lions, but it's kind of Lions, though, because it does relate to us. Will Rodgers be back with the Packers? I did see that he says he needs more time. He's doing his little Aaron Rodgers soap opera deal where, pay attention to me. I'm not playing anymore, but I don't know what I'm going to do. So put me in the news because I need to be seen. I'm Aaron Rodgers. That's how I feel about him. I do not like Aaron Rodgers. I cannot express that enough. He honestly, I don't care, but I think that he will. I think that if he comes back, he's coming back to the Packers. He signed a big contract with them, and I don't see another team picking up that contract. I mean, it is Aaron Rodgers, so probably somebody will. But I see him, if he's coming back, I see him being a Packer. Just the way I feel now. Tom Brady, on the other hand, he doesn't affect us. If he comes back, I think he's going to a different team. Here we go. I'm gonna get back in these. I see a few more. Lions could beat Tampa, Dallas, Minnesota, and New York Giants in the playoffs. Definitely, they could. We had a real close game with Philly, and if Jalen Hurts is playing hurt, we might beat Philly as well. Jalen Hurts actually was the whole reason why they pretty much beat us that first game. The guy was killing us on his feet, and he was just delivering dimes out there. I mean, it was insane. But yeah, if he's hurt, we got Philly all day. Rodgers is on the downside. He is beatable now. Definitely, I hope he does. We'll touch on Aaron Rodgers a little bit more. I hope he does stay in the NFC North if he doesn't retire, because I want to go out there and prove to him, hey, man, we own you now. You want to come out and say you own the Bears? Well, screw the Bears. Nobody likes them anyways. And then you want to come and say that you own us? Boy. This is a new day and age in Detroit. We're out here, and we own you, Rodgers. That's how it goes. Dan Campbell is 3-1 against him, and we lost the first game to him. That was Dan Campbell's learning curve, but now we got him. We got his number. I think I think Aaron Rodgers stays in the NFC North. That's good news for us. I know it sounds crazy, but I just like beating up on Rodgers. I love seeing it. I just love beating him. Here we go. In all honesty, I feel like Aaron Rodgers is holding Jordan Love back. Yeah, I don't know how this turned into an Aaron Rodgers talk episode, but he is. The organization would be smart, to probably just move on from him, because the guy just does this every single year. He's playing a game with him. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I'm going to go do some ayahuasca and think about it. Okay. I mean, what is that doing? I know it does whatever. I'm not going to get into that talk. But Aaron Rodgers, he's just a drama queen. That's how I feel about him. And I'm going to end it on that. I want to thank you guys for coming out with me today on this Tuesday. Like I said, I'm here every single Tuesday. I really appreciate all the comments today. This was a very fun episode for me, especially with off-season talk going on. But like I said, every Tuesday, 5 p.m. Detroit, 4 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. West Coast time. Touchdown Detroit Lions with your boy Nick Hutchinson over here on Syndicate Sports Detroit. Until next time, everybody, peace.
Detroit Lions!